Mobs and bosses will scale so they're dropped unique loot. The actual mission reward will not change, so the quest won't give more XP or better guns. If you accept them or it doesn't change the outcome.
So it scales up after you beat the game again?
Yes, everything, every enemy, but not the quest. If you max out your level before accepting the quest without weapons, the level will be maxed out. The weapon rewards won't scale. Okay, so, well, Borderlands 2 fixes that. So, oh, wait, that's fine. That's fine. Doesn't really matter when we do the quest then. Hey, Tucker, how you doing? Are you staying tonight? You are? You want to join us on Borderlands? Yeah, play whatever. I'm gonna be on this for a little while longer. I'll Tucker, you say hi. We're streaming, so say hi.
Hello.
Yes, Tucker's here.
Hey.
Adam says hey.
Hey.
Well, we got everything done. Might as well, I mean, if it doesn't matter, let's just freaking clean these, my nephew's here now, I gotta clean up my language! Clean up these side quests. Why not? It'll just look better. The stream, let's reiterate what we're trying to do. Trying to completely clear these quests out and have a nice clean playthrough on this guy, because this is the guy we're gonna take into the arena at the very end when we're all max level, we're all farmed out, ready to rock. We're gonna do the long arena once, and only once, through the course of this playthrough. And we're gonna take it as the true endgame activity that it is in both mental and freaking gaming terms.
And physical.
Yes, and physical, true. Good luck not getting a blood clot during it. I'm gonna fast travel us to the next area. We're almost done though, Adam. We've got our huge, nice quest backlog to turn in. Oh crap.
I just don't understand why they just didn't do the full Borderlands 2 thing in the remaster. Like, after you beat the game a second time, you do it a third one, and it just scales everything up to your level. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Well, I think what's gonna happen is everything is gonna scale after we beat it.
Gotcha.
Right? Just not quests.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Pretty sure. I don't. That's my assumption. And the way that
Yeah,
2 does
I don't
it is. But I get what you're saying, because in 2 they do it better. Not only do the quest scale, but the playthrough 1 even scales. It'll just go ahead and put everything to max level if you want it there, because you can choose, which is nice. Most modern games do not give you those kinds of options. Looking for one more when I get home? Yeah, sure. Sounds good, Justin. My nephew's here now, so I don't know how much longer I'll be on, but a little while for sure. 40% health boost is nice, but they'll be better. They'll be better. Alright, let's do this. We'll see if we can't get to Old Haven. I probably won't push past 8:30 though. Because that would be... I'd get us near 40 for the week. You know what? I'm just gonna do it on foot and kill shit while we do it. Kill shit as we go. I could use some weapon proficiencies anyways, but hell yeah, Justin, sounds good. But there's a good reason for you to farm out on your Lilith, Justin, because like I was just saying, the goal with the playthrough is we will take on the large Moxie Arena, the end game event. Is it either is meant to be or not meant to be, but that's how we're going to treat it, because it's going to be the cap to the playthrough and the last thing we do. We should all max our characters out in level and farm them to their peak efficiency. And then take on the arena. It's going to be worth doing because the arena at that point does actually get really, really tough. So that'll be the Granddaddy Grandmaster Challenge for this Borderlands playthrough. Deep dive into the Borderlands 1 Classic Remaster. I'm excited. I'm excited to see you and Adams, Lilith at optimal performance. Completely min-maxed. What kind of gear are you going to be looking for to max out your Lilith, Adam?
Just double anarchy, just a really nice shield, and just work everything. 'Cause I have one on PC. One of my PC saves. It just has like everything with her, so and it literally just 1v1 the entire game.
I need help.
My waning ability to turn logic into sanity is cumbersome. I've been translating
I have a this 19 still shreds.
So, is her gear modded or is it all just all max roll gear?
It's just well, it just farmed gear from farming.
Is it max?
Over the years. Not all of it's all like all stuff.
But you don't need max, right?
No, not with Lilith when she can use a 19 level double anarchy to literally low 45.
But you are gonna dig for like a really good level 69 double anarchy.
Yeah. That's my dream, man. I've yet to get one. So.
We'll get it. We'll get it. We're not too far from the point of being able to farm crawl max, are we? Because that's just vanilla game. Or do we have to... Is that in Nox?
That's in the Nox field.
Oh, okay. Maybe I did fight crawl once then. I don't... It's tough to remember. I know I beat the hell out of Nox, but don't remember crawl. Is crawl even our best bet to farm? Or is it just best to farm some of the chest areas?
I think that and crawl are like the best, like chest areas, and then there's always chest areas and farming crawl is like the best.
Did they say that they're gonna get rid of this drive you mentioned to get to crawl max?
No, it's still there.
But they're talking about patching it out, potentially?
I thought they were, but they're not going to.
Boo.
They have other stuff they have to work on.
Is it actually a 5 to 10 minute drive to get to crawl max every time?
Yes.
Oh my god. I think it might be easier.
You're driving across it.
Is it just worth it because his fucking drops are so good?
Yeah.
Which again, is something that they did right, like, and that's what I didn't like in Borderlands 2, is like, if you're gonna have us farm this raid boss, sweet, and I love the challenge, but make it hella rewarding, like, we're gonna get some amazing stuff that's actually worthwhile. That Seraph crystals are not that.
Not Destiny in Borderlands 2.
Do I like them?
Did you like them?
I love them as an idea. I love that they're an aspect of the game because they deepen the end game, but I absolutely hate the incentive behind them to get, you know, shitty experimental Seraph guns you can't use, to get, you know, if you're able, as I've said, Adam, thank you for listening, is why would I farm a raid boss if in order to kill the raid boss I've already got all the equipment that he would ever drop for me? I'm already fucking optimized. When I want to kill a raid boss because he's the best way to get even better shit and become even more powerful, not because killing him to kill him. But I like them as an idea. In fact, I think they're great as an idea, and I hope they implement it. If they could combine the raid bosses, because they ended up with how many, like 7 raid bosses in Borderlands 2? With the Headhunter packs?
7 or 8. Yeah.
You get like Hyperius, Pyropete, there's a couple in the Hammerlock DLC, there was one in the Tiny Tina. Like, if they could add those raid bosses and then you take these dungeons from Borderlands 1 and have them be at the end of it, and then don't even have us have to save and quit, literally just allow us to refresh it and run those, I think that'd be great. Matchmaking to dungeons like WoW. What's your opinion?
Yeah, that's what one video that I saw is that they should take like all the vaults in the system and like make them like dungeons. And make them like not like strikes, but make them just like mini areas that you can just farm for like gear and stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that it could be really,
like
really
Diablo
epic too. like having a Borderlands raid, because they're basically there. You know, they have the level design in Borderlands 1 that it is like a dungeon, because you fight through a very specific set of challenges and mobs, and the levels are very linear with the occasional flank. I love the level design in most of this. Like Old Haven, like imagine an Old Haven raid. Imagine if you take Old Haven, you take the goalie, and you take the very one section from the Hyperion map in Borderlands 2, and then at the very end of it, you fight, I don't know, Wilhelm. Wilhelm now way buffed up with a few mechanics as a raid boss, but then you got to give him like the shit to make it worthwhile, which is what Destiny does right. You get the Vault gear. I hate that you can only farm it once a week. I think that's horse shit, but you get the most powerful shit. You get really cool, interesting loot. Some of it really rare. Like the Vex Mytho class is broke PvP, but that's doing it right in my opinion. And so you need like
it was worth it.
And they came so close at him because the Terra Morpheus set. I thought that they did that perfect. None of that shit was really OP, but it was the 1 through 50, so you could run anything and make it work, and you could do a build around it because the game was great then. But that's great. You get those heads were attached to Terra Morpheus. He had the hide of Terra Morpheus. He had a gun. What other stuff? A grenade? Is that right? There was a
grenade.
Yeah, like, and that's it. So you take Terra Morpheus, but then in order to get to Terra Morpheus, you put not a drive or a long run like they like to do, but an actual level like in Borderlands 2 or 1 or even pre-sequel. You fight through some enemies with a gang. And then I think you don't even have to save and quit. You just allow that thing to be refreshed. What's your take on this though?
Like the game needs like a way to farm and not save and quit every time. Like that's what the game needs in my opinion.
I agree.
And the issue with a lot of these games it's like they want to be looter shooters, but they literally you can't farm. They want to be a quote-unquote looter shooter. It doesn't make sense to me.
To Borderlands credit, at least we get to save and quit and then run again, which is, I think it's mostly a technology like limitation, but it is a bit annoying, and that's why I would like to see it go away. Yeah. But like obviously Destiny, I want to be a looter shooter. Yeah, you can grind mindless dumb stuff. Even that they cap you on, glimmer and material. But if you want to get an absolutely useless amount of stuff in your postmaster that you can destroy for glimmer that you can't even earn anymore, sure. But Division has done a much better job at that. That's why I'm not playing it much, but I really think they got it right. And that's why I think there's serious competition. That's who Gearbox. We'll see what happens with Anthem. Fingers crossed. I want it to be great. It'd be so cool. It'd be good for the industry if it was great. I don't think Destiny is that competitor anymore. They got their community. It's hardcore. They're not going anywhere. I don't think they're competition for Borderlands right now.
No, they're not.
Maybe Destiny 3 will be absolutely amazing and prove us wrong, but we'll see. But I do definitely think that Massive and what they've done with the Division is a legitimate contender now for that looter shooter thing. Thankfully, they're both so different in their context and their look and everything else that I don't think it's going to be direct. But as far as in which one is actually the better looter shooter action RPG right now, Division 2's set a bar. I mean, like, getting those early game sets and putting little builds together feels exactly like Borderlands 2 felt going to 50. Like, you're motivated to keep leveling up and keep moving forward, and you feel the power increase, and you can see where this is going, and that motivates you to keep pushing up, and it works. Do you think you're ever gonna invest in a Division 2 playthrough, Adam?
Probably not. Just because I'm just not in. If it was a FPS, I would, but because it's third person, I'm just not in.
Yeah, that's to me is Division 2's faults. Is a very few faults, but the combat is so much more fun and action-packed in Borderlands, and the combat is so much more fun and action-packed in Anthem, even. And Anthem can be a fucking dull game. Especially because it's so repetitive for so little reward right now. You fight the same fucking little squiggly guys over and over and over again. You don't even get XP. You get XP, but it doesn't count for anything. But again, this is where Division does it right. It's like, okay, it's really repetitive, but it's hella rewarding.
I'm now certain that the vault is here, and that the symbol has something to do with opening it. I've checked and triple-checked my findings, and it all seems to make sense. It looks like there are extreme measures to keep the vault secure, but that it can be opened every 200 years. The vault's contents must be extremely valuable, maybe better than the Atlas text, but I cannot reveal this information to anyone
So,
yet.
explain to me then, Adam, because I'm very curious.
And if I'm right,
What is something that Borderlands 3 does? It comes out, people love it. They love it. 9s, 10s, game of the year looks like. Sells 5 million copies in the first 24 hours. Not only that, within 2 days it surpasses Red Dead Redemption. Over $1 billion in sale, plus. They're on top of the world. 1 month later, Borderlands 3, Gearbox and Randy, they push a patch. It changes everything. Players leave in droves. The game begins to die. People question the future of Gearbox software. What's in this patch that changes everything?
They take farming away. An exploit is found, and they take away farming. That's what I think.
So you can no longer even save and quit and run an enemy for loot.
It would be like that one patch. You know what I'm talking about in pre-sequel, where people found that exploit, where you could farm that boss over and over.
Was that an exploit? I may not be savvy to this one. I know that there was the one boss in Borderlands pre-sequel that people could save and quit and run, and then they're like, oh well, we're gonna get rid of the one fucking boss. What was this exploit though?
I think. No, I'm changing my opinion. I think they need to let a meta set if they're turned into a meta for the game, because I bet there will be a meta, and they can't do this Battleborn style. Let's patch every 5 seconds until they find something that's crazy good in the game. Like it's a PvE game, let it like set. Like don't nerf it right away. Like nerf it like, or I don't know. That's the one problem that Battleborn had. It was just they nerf stuff all the time, and it was just like, oh, it's just, yeah. I just think balancing is still their weakness.
I think, Adam, in both cases you're right. I like your original opinion. I think your gut instinct there was, I think, spot on. Like, they get rid of farming. Like,
Yeah.
what if this becomes fucking Destiny suddenly? I don't think that works. Not even remotely in this game. But the other thing is, I was never, ever a fan of the nerfs they did in Borderlands 2. They didn't make sense to me. It's a strictly PvE game, so do not nerf. It doesn't make sense. Let the player feel powerful. The fucking kunai nerf, the bee nerf. In Borderlands 1, you could get so fucking OP, and it feels great. I don't know why the game developers think that players don't like to feel fucking powerful, because we love feeling powerful, and you can continue to put hours and hours into a game where you're a god. I've seen it, because I had people I knew, I was friends with, who put 1,000+ hours into Borderlands 2 and were using nothing but modded gear, but found it to be a blast. I never played with that shit. I like the challenge, sure, but if you don't want to have the challenge, don't. And I just can't
if
stand
you're not in my
nerfs.
game, I'm not gonna care.
I need help.
My game,
Oh.
oh shit.
Yeah, so when they nerf shit in Borderlands 2, especially on top of, we've talked in, you know, copious detail about the OP levels and how botched up that was, just really made me angry. More angry than maybe it had a right to be, but at the same time, it just wasn't Borderlands. Like, you look for that in other games for them to nerf the PvE shit. In Borderlands, especially Borderlands 1, you become such a badass, and that's what I want. I don't want, you know, especially...
Also, it's Borderlands. It's not like supposed to be a competitive type, even for like PvE. Like it's not like Destiny where they want it to be like, where they're gonna have like raids first and that stuff.
Right. Yeah, and there's a
like
PvP
they want to be
component.
wacky. They want to be crazy and wacky, and it's just, that's the thing that I didn't like about Battleborn, was literally every Thursday it was like, what character is gonna be patched today? Who's gonna be broken today? And it's like, they never let a meta set. Like that was the thing. That
Well,
I was just like, what are they doing?
In the case of Battleborn, I think that they were working against borrowed time. The clock for them was so limited for them to push content. With the season pass that they did, and then the fact that the sales numbers just were not apparently there for them, I think that they knew that, like, man, a year tops, we'll be lucky to have the damn year, which I think was shit. I still think that they pulled the plug too early. I think that they didn't give it a good try. I imagine maybe it was 2K, but why do you not do the free-to-play license? Why do you go free-to-play and just do a trial? And that no one even knows exists half the time. It's too confusing.
It's too confusing for the casual audience. For the hardcore audience like us, it's not. But like, if you told my brother, what is free trial? I mean, he's like, oh, I can just play the game for like an hour or so, and then I'll have to pay for it. Like, is that how it is? I'm like, yeah, because I was hanging out with my brother one time. I was like, what does free trial mean to you? And he's like, oh, it means I could play it for like an hour or two, and then I have to pay for it. I'm like, no, PvP, it would be PvP's all free. He's like, that's really confusing because that makes people, not like him, but like that audience that don't play games all the time and like stream or go on Twitch or go to Reddit, they're looking at like what character's OP, what build do I have to do with like an SMG or whatever. Like they just don't care, and it's like you gotta cater to that audience too, and write in a way that audience will understand, and not just the hardcore audience.
I think you're absolutely right, Adam. I think that you hit the nail on the head. That was a massive failure, and it was a tragic failure. They did it. You know, they did a lot of work just to even get it ready for the changeover to go to free trial. They introduced the Founders Pack. Some people weren't crazy about the Founders Pack. I don't give a shit. Come on, you got to get over that. You got a bunch of free shit, you know.
You're an early adopter, like it's gonna happen. You're an early adopter.
I do understand that it was weird that a game that it's a year in and was a full AAA title, $60 at launch, etc., suddenly you're a founder. Doesn't make a ton of sense, but I think that they were a lot nicer in the transition than a lot of companies would have been. EA would have just been like, yeah, it's free now. You know, we've already got your money, so I don't know what you expect. Where Gearbox was like, you know, here's 15 passes, a bunch of platinum, and all this crazy shit. You know, really nice. But the larger point still stands. You hit the nail on the head in that people didn't understand it. Like you explained to your brother. And over again, people did not understand. The trial was great in concept, and it could have worked and should have worked. That now everybody could access Battleborn, especially if they had done it 6 months earlier. And you had unlimited access to multiplayer. And having unlimited access to multiplayer sets you. Because you can get credits, you can buy packs, you'll get gear. You'll be under-geared to begin with, but it hardly matters.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you really want to be OP, sure, you can, you know, get the campaign. But even then, you're not really that OP. Because you can benefit just as much from that lower level shit. The way that they did gear was really interesting, but people just didn't understand that, and I hope that they get it to Game Pass at the least. But they do this.
Never presented the game well. I think that was the biggest problem about Battleborn. They didn't know how to like advertise it. Like, is it a MOBA? Is it like this or this? Like it was so poorly advertised. It blew my mind.
From beginning to end, they did not show off that it was a Borderlands arena shooter, which is all they really needed to do. Take the Borderlands, take the gear, take the campaign, and it's always been 10 times the game Overwatch was. But
yeah,
just in content alone, just in depth and breadth of content alone, the fact that you had what 20? Was it 20 playable characters at the end?
30.
30, yeah. Okay, thank you. 30 playable characters, all with a skill tree, with 3 different aspects to each skill tree that you could then top with gear, and then they work in these synergies across all the other 30s. It's the most character building they ever did. Hopefully it'll pass over to the third one, but we've talked about this 100 million times in this stream over the course of the last couple of years. But that argument still stands, but they could not get that across. They somehow consistently failed to deliver on the idea of just how much content was being offered in the not the goddamn pre-sequel, but Battleborn. Fun, interesting, exciting content, addicting content. So that failure persists across its entire lifetime. Adam is right. It was one of the biggest failings, but it not only began with that failure, where people would, it's an Overwatch clone. What is this game? And then it ends on the exact same failure. Hey, Quinn, turn that light off and go upstairs, honey. As in, they didn't advertise the free trial.
The most confusing thing ever.
They did that thing again, Adam, where is this thing at? They brought in a bunch of people they even paid them. They did sponsored streams of people who have never streamed the game. And that, Adam, I think you felt the same way, but it was so frustrating in that you and I
said that. I was like, that's bullshit. Like, you're not having any of these streamers. These are literally all 2K streamers. And I was like, I would ask them questions, like hard questions, like what they think of like
Quinny.
current meta, like who. And it was just like, they do not play the game enough. And
hey, say hi and go back upstairs. Sorry, Adam, continue.
Crazy. There was like one girl, I asked her an opinion about like a nerf or whatever. She didn't know that it happened like 3 patches ago, and I'm like, you don't play the like. I wanted to be mean, but I didn't want to because she was a nice person. But like, fuck, man, stupid.
No, you're right. It was frustrating that we're sitting here. It wasn't even about the money, right? We didn't want to be sponsored. It wasn't the goal. It's just that they totally ignored us, like something like yourself, like Floyder, like Mozzie, like so many that stuck with the game and would sell it on its own merits. We knew the game so we could sell the game, and we enjoy the game so we're the best people possibly to sell it, because we're going to sit here and talk in very glowing terms on what all of this game offers. And the 2K streamers, it made no sense. These people were clueless. They were clueless. Like you mentioned, the one girl had no idea that, something had been nerfed 3 patches ago. Guy I watched, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, yeah, he's like a healer, I think. They were just...
Yeah.
It's like, these represent the community. 2K botched it. I just don't think it was Gearbox. I think 2K completely botched the marketing.
Gearbox never picks the streamers, it's always 2K. A whole 90% of the time it's 2K that picks the streamers.
Well, it was out of left field, and it was, okay, here's your very limited marketing budget. You won't even pay for a damn free-to-play license with this game. And you pay a bunch of people, half of which don't even stream anymore, and one of which went completely crazy. You're gonna pay these people. It was like moment-to-moment frustration with that game. Every day it was something else, dude.
The dev day pissed me off the most. That fucking drew me. That pissed me off.
Tell me about it.
It was like the second or third. It was like when they had like a dev day 2 or 3, and like it was like you and I and some attacking and like one of like the Xbox like random PS4 guys that would stream it, and like, and then they announced the streamers of who they're gonna do it. None of them stream Battleborn. None of them play it. And I'm here like at the one point like 150 followers, and I'm just like, are you kidding me?
Dude, and Xbox wasn't even
for 10-12 hours a day. Like, are you serious?
Xbox wasn't even in that. It was a slap in the face, is what it felt like. Again, it's not even about the money. It's not about the prestige. It's just like, you're mishandling this. You cannot have people who are supposed to be your featured partnered streamers that show off this game and what it has to offer, who don't play it, who don't know it, who don't even know how to talk about it. Whereas something, or Tacky, or yourself, or myself, there was a number of really great community members to choose from that time. Zed's brother was another one.
Luckmod,
like people who really knew the game and could sell the game and would talk about its merits. And these people were ignored. And I feel like it was just because we were small, which is no reason to ignore us. If you want to actually grow a community, then start where your roots are. And your roots were with us. That's, you know, that's totally transparent how I felt about it. It wasn't a personal thing. It was simply a, I know something, sorry, I've been on the soapbox, so I took too long to read your thing. I'm sorry, dude, but the soapbox is like, I felt like as a community, they were so off the beam. Talk about it more and how 2K streamers, they had no clue what the hell they're doing. That's exactly right, son. That's exactly what we're talking about. What they were doing, what they were talking about, how to sell the game, what was going on with the game, what the game was. And do you feel like Gearbox is responsible for that, Adam?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a little bit, because the only time I ever got Gearbox love was literally, it was the winter patch stream where one of the devs, two of the devs, like shouted me out. And that was where I still have my biggest viewer count I've ever had in my life.
So you like, do blame Gearbox then, or you don't?
Yeah, because it was like, they're picking these horrible, like, a masher. Oh, there's a good masher if you want it. It was just like, if you want people to represent your game, pick the players that will represent it the best. Not some people who just like, you're paying them, they don't want to play the game. They're literally playing it because to them it's just, the game is literally a giant meme of just horribleness, and then they tried doing a tournament, which was a meme because two of the teams.
I mean, they paid They paid some homeless people to become a fourth team just so they could create a bracket.
Yeah. Like that one team, none of them have played the game since they came out, and I was like, it was just a joke, and like.
It was too much. They tried to leap forward. It's like Varnell had a dream, and I appreciate his dream, and his dream was that this would be an esport. Because remember, they were like, yeah, Battleborn's going to be an esport. This was like something they talked about. Yeah. Well, it would have been good just to get a ranked out or a ladder system first. Just so players could, on their own time, play it. And then I think you do that tournament like Fortnite. Before you do any physical tournaments, you do it digital. And have players do it. Apex Legends has done the same.
I'll be back in like 5 minutes.
Okay.
I just gotta go. I just gotta talk to my parents.
Alright, Apex did the same shit, but not Battleborn stream. Battleborn decided we're going straight to Oklahoma. We've had this discussion a bunch. It's a topic that I guess is a guilty pleasure of mine, because it's still something that I find interesting and just insanely frustrating. Because I could have kept playing Battleborn. I wasn't at burnout level, and we streamed that game for about a year and a half. Still found it fun. It just was dying right before our eyes. I am probably not getting up out of this. Holy shit. Gearbox is partially responsible. Can't throw it all on 2K. I mean, 2K's marketing campaign for Battleborn was so awful, though. From beginning to end, and they wouldn't even pay for the 2K license. But, so what's in particular would you put on? You say Apex is dying. No, Ashton, dang it. It's like you hearing me say 1 billion copies of the Collector's Edition yesterday. We're talking about Battleborn. What in particular do you think Gearbox botched in this aspect? Something. Ashton's a great streamer. He's a Marine. He's really good at games, especially team-based games. He's got good, funny commentary. He's a great dude. Check him out. Yo, show the Reaper! He thinks that I believe that there's going to be 1 billion copies of the Collector's Edition made and that Apex Legends is dying. No, Apex Legends I do not believe even remotely is dying. We're talking about the community streams for Battleborn and the 2K and the slow process of dying, and how frustrated I was. Streamers like yourself and Something and Adam and Tacky and Floyder and Luckmod, etc. just were utterly ignored in favor of either year-old videos or streamers who didn't play the game, didn't care about the game, were paid to play the game, couldn't explain the game, couldn't sell the game, made the game look even worse, didn't draw any viewers any more than what we could have with our communities. That's what I'm talking about. Apex stuck on Pandora. Okay, sorry, Sam. I only read, 2 sentences there. My bad. They're a corporation who doesn't know what the hell goes on with the game they're publishing. Okay, Gearbox could have said something. If they did and were shut down, then I'll shut up. But at the very least, they could have talked into one actual Battleborn stream. One. Okay, something I agree with you. I should have read the rest of that to begin with. I agree with you there, man. Yeah, totally. Yeah, one. I mean, also the contract thing, like that they had PS4 exclusive rights. They put the cart before the horse. And both in the Choctaw tournament case, where instead of having these digital tournaments like Apex Legends or Fortnite before, Fortnite could easily have gone physical to begin with. But first they tested the water and they did these, online tournaments, and they really spelled out what they thought was going to work and what won it. And then finally they put the money on the ground to do a physical tournament. Whereas Gearbox wanted badly for it to be an esport, and I think just to knock it off their bucket list, went into Oklahoma in the Choctaw tournament. 4 teams, one of which was a group of homeless people that were paid to play the game. That's not true, but it was people who had never played the game in their life and were literally put into the tournament, so there'd be a bracket. But it wasn't a good look. And then they had the PS4 exclusivity on a game that, just needed to sell any copies that it possibly could. So that meant no Xbox people for these community streams. And I agree with Adam from beginning to end. I feel that it was a massive failure in marketing. Both that they didn't put across how much content, depth, and action was in Battleborn. You had no idea what Battleborn was, even though it had enough money that it ran national television ads. I saw it on the NBA Finals. I saw a Battleborn ad back in the day, right before an Overwatch ad, which Overwatch you knew what it was. Instantly you knew what it was. It was a shooter. It was a multiplayer game. But Battleborn is like, you were born for this. And it showed a wide variety of characters, but you didn't know what they were doing. And then at the end, when they do the free trial, which is so well thought out on paper, in my opinion. So well thought out. That you have unlimited multiplayer, because you can get everything through the multiplayer. And this should bolster the servers, because this is a AAA game that's now free to play, basically. And you give people a bunch of platinum and stuff that calm founders, I didn't even care, just happy they were trying this, but it was too little too late, and they just didn't advertise it. And as Adam said with his brother, like, what do people think when they hear free trial? They think, okay, I can play the first mission, or I can play 10 hours. Not, you can play the multiplayer as much as you want. Don't forget the jackass sci-fi, or whatever his name is. Who's sci-fi, Ashton? Is this the one who went crazy? Is that's another aspect, like half these people don't stream anymore? And that is what it is. People end their streaming for a lot of different reasons. And one of which went crazy. But it's just more the idea that they're not 100% committed. Where you look at people like us, like Ashton, like something, like Justin, there's so many of us. We're just Gearbox fans, basically. We not only played the hell out of Battleborn, we're gonna play the hell out of Borderlands, and that's why it also feels like you talk a lot, how you really love your fans and you're all in this together, but when it comes right down to it, it sure doesn't freaking seem like it. I think a lot of us got ignored. I think we really got ignored. I think we all put in a lot of effort and time towards trying to help and play and make content, and we're totally left in the dust for the more glamorous people or aspects, like the weekly notes. The fact that not one of us, not Floyd or not Mozzie, not the Xbox League, that those guys organized week to week to week to week to week. Those guys organized that league. The PlayStation League guys, the competitive teams. Ashton was in the tournaments. Something was in the tournaments. Derek for real was in the tournaments. None of these people were ever even remotely hinted at. They were not aware of the real life that their game had. Instead, they would look at like someone made a Lego block of a brick that looks like a bunch of red bricks, and they would paid attention to another cosplayer, and they paid attention to like a podcast. but everybody else was, you know, forgotten. Which personally, the way I felt about it was, made me redouble my efforts. Like, okay, we got to work really hard to get noticed, really hard to get noticed. Then, of course, the game was dying, and so it became too late. As I say, stream, that's kind of a guilty pleasure topic. The life and the death of Battleborn, and I guess if you're watching this on YouTube, what you'll get out of that is that you're watching people that were, oddly enough, were a rare bird, but we were part of the last people on the planet Battleborn, still feeling it out, fighting for it. I played with him a few times and we were all running randoms heroes because he didn't want to pub stomp, and he was, they're trying to be Shroud. Well, the thing about those guys, like Rated M from Alien stuff, who are great players, is that was one of the worst things that occurred. Some people wanted to be great at that game. C-Nail wanted to be great at that game. I was never motivated to be great. I just had fun playing it. I wanted to win, play to win, but I never was, I'm going to be the best because I didn't care. But there was a group of people like the sci-fi you're talking about who wanted that. They wanted it bad. C-Nail wanted it. Rated him for Manly, and that whole gang wanted it. Adam was in the tournaments. He, you know, maybe went through a period of time where he wanted it. But there was no in-between for those players. You either pub stomped or you got pub stomped. And without a ranked, I mean, hell, it was tough enough just to get a match. It was tough enough just to get a match. And that creates one of the most wicked things you have when any game dies. Lawbreakers went through the same shit. Level 35 on that proficiency, holy shit. Where you would get a match in Lawbreakers in its dying days, because you could still get a match. And you either completely destroyed somebody because they had just bought the game, which I'm sure they then regretted it deeply, or you got destroyed by the people who never quit. Battleborn had that in an extreme way. You had players who were 2 years had been playing the game PvP hardcore, had done tournaments, had done the leagues, had done the sweats, the whole 9 yards, and then the only way they could get a damn match was just to sit there and, you know, hop in lobbies, and the only other people they could find are people who just, what's this free trial thing? Do I have an hour to play the game? And now we're supposed to impress upon these people trying the game for the first time ever that this is worth your money, your time, your effort. And what do they see but Rated M for Manly with a sniper rifle in their face? Who's to blame there? Do you say, you, hardcore player Adam, do you need to hold back? Do you need to play your worst character to try to make these people play the game more? Is that even realistic to ask? That's what Varnell tried. Or I just don't see a solution. I think you're done at that point. Do you see a solution there, Adam? There's your answer. Silence is deafening. It speaks volumes. There was another thing we talked about earlier stream. You'd seen it in an earlier episode here on this. That I think we came up with a cool what if. Maybe some of you guys would have an answer for it. For us. Can answer this for us. Here's our hypothetical question with Borderlands. Borderlands 3 comes out. It's 9s. It's 10s. IGN, 9 out of 10. GameSpot, 10 out of 10. Game Informer, 10 out of 10. Kotaku gives it a 1 out of 10 because they say it's racist. But the rest of the people, they all say it's 10s. Okay. Game of the Year is nearly guaranteed. Within a day, it sells 5 million copies. Within a month, it's officially outsold Red Dead Redemption 2. It made over $1 billion at a faster rate. It's a phenomenon. 1 month later, Gearbox releases a patch, and the players begin to leave in droves. The video started up. It wasn't just killed, it was murdered. Population decreases by half in the game. The situation gets so dour, so dire, that people are even beginning to talk about whether Gearbox Studios will exist into 2020 or not, because the game is dying so rapidly after that massive success. What patch What is in that patch that kills the game? What kills Borderlands? Adam felt that it would be... I felt it would be nerfs. Adam felt that it would be they get rid of farming. And they don't let they wait. They don't wait to let a meta really play itself out. They just keep patching, and break the game. I liked Adam's gut instinct. I'm of the same. I think that if they do nerfs like they did in Borderlands 2, that kills it. Maybe some of you guys, both here on the stream and I guess YouTube too. Ask yourself that question. See what comes to your mind. Now, hashtag Ebola. Let's get that trending. We're going to give out a sequenced genome of the smallpox virus that eradicated New York City in the Division. We'll see you on Mixer.